Welcome to week 7. We are starting to round out this course, and this week we're going to dive into a critical shift in your development as educators. Our guiding focus this week is how can generic literacy practices be modified to meet the demands of readers and writers in disciplinary contexts? Up until now, we've discussed many generic strategies, scaffolds that work across many subjects. I mentioned earlier that these generic strategies are really what we call content area literacy, and it's a practice that we used to teach a lot in universities before disciplinary literacy became a prominent practice. But as Chapter 7 argues, being a good teacher isn't just about knowing these general strategies. It's about being a disciplinary insider who understands how knowledge is produced in your specific field. This week, there's no professional article review. Instead, your energy will go into the disciplinary literacy lesson plan and reflection assignment that's on Canvas. You will move beyond these generic teaching to demonstrate how you can mentor students to read, write, and think like experts, whether that's a historian, a scientist, a mathematician, whatever your discipline may be. Chapter 7 shares a story of being a history poli-sci guy suddenly forced to teach English. Despite having a master's in literacy, he struggled because he wasn't an insider in the English discipline. He could scaffold reading, but he lacked the deep knowledge, experience, and insight to plan truly disciplinary instruction. When teachers lack this deep domain knowledge, they often default to the textbook and focus on the recall of factual information rather than in-depth examination. This is exactly what the Stanford Thinking Like a Historian project seeks to change. They argue we must break the stranglehold of the textbook by introducing students to a variety of voices, diaries, memoirs, government documents, rather than just memorizing discrete facts. Think of generic strategies like a KWL or basic graphic organizers as instructional prototypes. They are starting points, but they are insufficient on their own. As literacy researcher Gillis suggests, adapt, don't just adopt. Some examples of this customization could be in science. A generic graphic organizer can become a claim evidence chart. It doesn't just list facts, it emphasizes the cause and effect relationship and the reasoning that supports a scientific argument. Or in history, a generic facts question response chart could be retooled into a knowledge questions response grid anchored in the thinking like a historian model. Instead of random facts, students must select need to know items that relate to specific historical facets like cause and effect and turning points. When you design your lesson this week, ask yourself the 3 criteria from Hein Shanahan. Does it help students understand the subject matter? Would a disciplinary expert find this strategy reasonable? And how does it help students meet the specific aims of my discipline? In the video, we see that every lesson begins with a legitimate historical question that has no single right answer, such as was the New Deal success or a failure? And we talked a little bit about these types of questions previously. Note how the teacher in the video praised fabulous sourcing. They aren't just reading for information, they are asking, who do they work for? And why might we question this source? Our goal isn't just to cover content. As the chapter concludes, it's about helping students say, I am the kind of person who can think like in a mathematical way or a historical way. You are now ready to download the EDU 504 Adapted Disciplinary Literacy Plan that is on Canvas. It is going to guide you through step by step what is needed in each box. Um, in steps 1 through 7, you're going to design learning targets that match the rigor of your standards. And then pay special attention to section 7, where you explicitly explain how your lesson impacts disciplinary literacy specifically, not just general reading. After you teach this lesson in your clinical setting or in your classroom, your reflection must be data driven. Don't just say the students liked it. Explain how you know they were successful based on their performance and how the discipline focus changed their experience. Use this week to move from being a strategy user to a disciplinary mentor. I look forward to seeing how you translate these theories into your classrooms.